Imagine yourself standing before the gates of Valhalla, where thunder roars across the sky, and the northern lights dance in a symphony of color. This is Asgard, the fabled home of the mightiest gods in Norse mythology, a realm where power, wisdom, and fate intertwine. But among these gods, who truly rules? Who possesses the ultimate strength, the keenest intellect, or the deepest magic? Today, let's journey together through the tales of the 7 most powerful Norse gods, from fierce warriors to enigmatic sorcerers. Each god embodies a unique universe of might. Some command with brute force, some with cunning, others with unyielding will or mastery of magic. By the end, you might be surprised at who truly sits atop the throne of Asgard. At the threshold of this legendary pantheon stands Heimdall, the all-seeing guardian. Do not mistake his quiet vigilance for passivity, for Heimdall is Asgard's ultimate security system, the sentinel whose senses far surpass those of any mortal or god. His gaze pierces through all 9 worlds, able to spot the ripple of a single blade of grass thousands of miles away, or hear the faintest sound, a leaf falling, an ant crawling across the ground. In his hands rests Hofund, a sword not just of steel but of cosmic power, capable of slicing through space itself, opening rifts between worlds. When the time of Ragnarok arrives, the fated end of all things, it is Heimdall who first sounds the alarm, detecting the approach of chaos before any other. In the cataclysmic final battle, he faces his eternal nemesis, Loki, and together they meet their doom, locked in mortal combat. Such is the strength of a true guardian, prepared to sacrifice everything to defend his world, standing ever vigilant at the gates of Asgard. Next in our journey is Baldur, the immortal god of light. Beloved by all, the shining son of Odin and Frigg stands apart from his peers. While others wield destructive power, Baldur's strength lies in his invulnerability. He is the living embodiment of purity and perfection. Troubled by a prophetic dream foretelling Baldur's death, his mother Frigg sought out every element in the cosmos: fire, water, metal, stone, plant, and beast, extracting a vow from each never to harm her son. Thus shielded, Baldur became untouchable in battle, immune to all weapons and dangers. The gods, in awe of his invincibility, would amuse themselves by hurling objects at him, only to watch them bounce harmlessly away. Yet, in this perfection lay a tragic flaw. His very invulnerability made him a target for mischief. Loki, ever the cunning trickster, discovered a loophole and orchestrated Baldur's death, setting into motion the first ominous signs of Ragnarok. Here we see that even the purest light can cast a shadow, and that sometimes the greatest strength can also be the greatest vulnerability. Now, let us meet Loki, the master trickster, whose very name sends shivers through the halls of Asgard. Loki is not a god of brute force or heroic deeds, but of intellect, unpredictability, and transformation. He is the ultimate shapeshifter, capable of becoming anything: a fish darting through icy streams, a fly buzzing unseen, or even a beautiful maiden turning heads in the grandest halls. In one of his many escapades, Loki transformed into a mare to lure away a mighty stallion, later giving birth to Sleipnir, Odin's legendary 8-legged steed. But Loki's true power lies not in his transformations, but in his ability to manipulate minds and hearts. He knows exactly which words will stoke anger, ignite fear, or sow division among gods and mortals alike. With a whisper, he can turn friend against friend, or bring down the mightiest of kingdoms without ever raising a sword. When Loki finally turned against Asgard, he needed no army. His weapons were secrets, lies, and the fragile egos of the gods themselves. This is why Loki ranks among the most dangerous, not for his loyalty or malice, but for his sheer, unpredictable genius and the chaos he can unleash. As we climb higher, we encounter Tyr, the courageous god of war. When people think of war in Norse myth, they often picture Thor and his thunderous hammer. Yet Tyr is the original war god, revered not just for his fighting skill, but for his unwavering honor and valor. In the hearts of Viking warriors, Tyr was the one they prayed to, not for brute strength, but for courage and clear judgment in the heat of battle. The most celebrated tale of Tyr speaks to his self-sacrifice. When the monstrous wolf Fenrir threatened the gods, only Tyr dared to place his hand in Fenrir's jaws as a sign of trust, allowing the other gods to bind the beast with magical chains. Fenrir, realizing the trick, bit off Tyr's hand. Yet this loss was not weakness, but a mark of his unmatched bravery. Even with one hand, Tyr remained a formidable warrior, respected and feared by all. His strength was not just in muscle or weapon, but in his willingness to give up everything for the greater good. A lesson in heroism that echoes through the ages. Entering the top 3, we find Freya, the Enchantress Queen. Beyond her beauty and allure, Freya is the supreme mistress of Seidr, the most potent form of Norse magic. Seidr is not mere spellcraft. It is the power to alter reality, shape destinies, and see into the myriad threads of fate. Even Odin, the All-Father himself, sought Freyja's guidance to master this esoteric art. Around her neck hangs Brisingamen, a magical necklace that amplifies her sorcery to unimaginable levels. With it, Freya can sway emotions, invoke desire, and bend wills, weaving her influence through the hearts of gods and mortals alike. But Freya's greatest fearsome gift is her clairvoyance. While Odin may see glimpses of the future through his ravens, Freya can reach into the fabric of fate and subtly alter its course. In a world where destiny is everything, Freya stands almost alone in her ability to challenge and reshape it. She is a force not just of magic, but of willpower and independence, a goddess who commands respect and awe among all who know her name. Now we come to Thor, the unbeatable god of thunder. His legend precedes him, a name known far beyond the icy fjords and misty forests of the Norse lands. Thor is the ultimate champion, the one called upon to vanquish monsters, defend humanity, and shatter any obstacle in his path. In his grasp is Mjolnir, the thunder hammer. More than just a weapon, it is a force of nature, forged from the heart of a dying star. When Thor hurls Mjolnir, it never misses its mark, returning faithfully to his hand. The storms that shake the heavens are but the echoes of his battles. The thunderclaps are the sound of Mjolnir striking down foes. Yet, what truly sets Thor apart is not just his raw power, but his indomitable spirit. Where others falter, question, or betray, Thor is steadfast, ever at the forefront, fighting for gods and mortals alike. He has slain countless giants, serpents, and threats to the world, his courage unyielding even in the face of certain death. In the prophecy of Ragnarok, Thor will face Jormungandr, the world serpent so vast it encircles the earth. Though he will slay the beast, the serpent's poison will claim his life. Even so, Thor never flinches, fighting to his last breath. He is the embodiment of unwavering resolve and heroic sacrifice. At the peak of our ascent stands Odin, the Allfather, the Lord of wisdom and magic, King of Asgard. Odin's power is not merely the authority of a ruler, but the hard-won spoils of sacrifice and unending quest for knowledge. To grasp the secrets of the universe, Odin hung himself from the branches of Yggdrasil, the world tree, for 9 days and nights, pierced by his own spear, enduring agony to unlock the runes. Sources of ultimate magical power. To drink from the well of Mimir and gain cosmic wisdom, he gave up one of his eyes, exchanging worldly sight for insight into fate itself. In his hand, Odin wields Gungnir, a spear that never misses its target, its very name whispered in fear across the realms. He rides Sleipnir, the 8-legged horse born of chaos and cunning, traversing land, sky, and the hidden paths between worlds. Odin's ravens, Hugin and Munin, thought and memory, soar across the 9 realms, gathering intelligence, whispering secrets into their master's ears. But Odin's true strength lies in his vision, his ability to see the unfolding tapestry of fate, and his relentless drive to prepare for what is to come. He knows that Ragnarok is inevitable, and every action he takes is a step in a grand strategy to face the oncoming doom. He gathers the bravest fallen warriors in Valhalla, trains them for the final battle, and learns every art and craft, magical or mundane, to gain even the smallest advantage. Odin even keeps his enemies close, including Loki, so that he might better understand and, if possible, outmaneuver them. In Odin, we see a ruler who is not just strong, but wise, cunning, and unyielding in his pursuit of knowledge and survival. His power is not only in the present, but in his ability to shape the future itself, a mastery none can rival. So, as we look back on the 7 mightiest gods of Asgard, each formidable in their own right, we find a spectrum of strength. Heimdall, ever watchful; Baldur, pure and untouchable; Loki, the unpredictable master of chaos; Tyr, the courageous and selfless; Freyja, the sovereign of fate and magic; Thor, the unstoppable force of protection; and Odin, whose wisdom and foresight weave together all the strands of destiny. What unites them, above all, is not merely their individual powers, but their willingness to sacrifice for the greater good. Their readiness to give all they have to protect the realms they cherish. Perhaps, in the end, this is the truest strength of all, not the ability to destroy, but the unbreakable will to defend, to endure, and to inspire. Which of these gods do you feel deserves the highest place in the pantheon? Do you agree with this ranking, or would you place another god at the top? The stories of the Norse gods are not just tales of might, but reflections of what we value: courage, wisdom, sacrifice, and the hope that even in the face of doom, there remains a light that will never fade.